Joining me right now, trial attorney and legal analyst Misty Marris. Good to see you, Misty. What do you think? Are they not digging as far as they need to dig right now on this other issue?
They absolutely need to dig further. Isn't this what it's all about? Did Russia influence the election? Clearly, we're getting more and more facts that this is not limited to the Trump campaign. We're learning that the DNC actually hired opposition research, hid that from the American people and their donors, and then are also involved with the Russians. Clearly, we need to get answers.
But this is where it becomes difficult, right? In other words, we don't know for sure that the dossier is what eventually caused the FBI to say, okay, we need to wiretap the Trump building and keep an eye on these phone calls in the Trump campaign camp. We don't know that yet, but there's a lot of suspicion as to whether or not that dossier, in fact, did fuel some of those wiretapping concerns. And if that's the case, Misty, then, hey, that's not good.
No, absolutely not. And Trish, you make a great point. No, we don't know. And that's why you conduct a full and thorough investigation of those facts to get down to the bottom of it and find out what exactly happened with the Clintons, with the dossier, with the DNC. Trish, I know one thing is for certain. One of the big issues with this is that opposition research was done, but it was not disclosed to the Federal Election Committee. That is a requirement. So we already know there's one law broken. What else is going on? What are the ties? Why aren't we digging deeper to figure that out?
You know, there was a guest on the program yesterday, Misty, that worried that the U.S. got played effectively. That what happened in all of this was that the Russians figured out that various political operators were trying to gain opposition research, and they fed quite deliberately a bunch of misinformation to that British spy, Christopher Steele, who then in turn brought that back and then, you know, turned everything on its head. Is there a danger here that we got played, and doesn't that need to be looked into?
Certainly, Trish. I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about, because the whole idea behind why we have a special counsel appointed is to see, is Russia trying to improperly influence elections? And exactly what you pointed out. We need to know what was going on. Could the U.S. have been played? How can we avoid it in the future and avoid these types of situations where we need to appoint a special counsel to get down to the bottom of it? Certainly, these are issues that need to be investigated.
Let me ask you about Uranium One, because this is a story that I have always been fascinated with, and I've been stunned to learn, as we recently did, that the FBI was looking into whether or not Vladimir Putin was trying to gain an outsized influence in our atomic energy market at the same time that they went ahead, CFIUS went ahead and approved that deal for the Russians effectively to gain a 20% stake in uranium, or rather gain control over 20% of the United States' uranium supply. Misty, I mean, I keep going back to what I said over and over and over again. As far as Hillary Clinton went, $146 million going to the foundation while she's Secretary of State, while a deal like this is getting approved. How did we wind up doing a deal like that?
How was this deal not blocked is the question of the hour. It doesn't take being a lawyer or being a politician to know. Common sense would say the fact that there was this investigation would put up a red flag. And, hey, maybe this deal shouldn't have gone through. Trish, we also learned there's a former FBI informant who is set to testify before Congress, who has said that they would testify, that's going to talk about how Russia was trying to gain influence with the Clintons during that time. I mean, there are so many pieces to this puzzle, and the only way to get down to the bottom of it is to make this part of the investigation.
You're right. I don't know how you can't. I mean, if
it can't be ignored.
Russia.
It can't be ignored. It's absolutely, it's so interwoven, and the fact that this is now just coming to light is pretty shocking.
Misty, it's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.